Good morning, Dr.
Good
Grandin.
morning.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this beautiful resort. And I feel privileged to have enjoyed the sumptuous breakfast and also invited to the U.S. Association of Autism. And I must say, being your guest, I got real VIP treatment by putting me in the front row, and there was only one reserved seat which they offered me.
No, that was good.
So I'm here, Dr. Grandin, to let you know about the state-of-the-art Autism Center we are putting up in Calcutta, India. Uh, what I'm here for is to sort of seek your advice what we should be doing as far as the infrastructure is concerned and the curriculums we'll be offering to children. So let's say we'll be having a residential center for autistic children and adults and a daycare school for children of all ages, besides having all kind of vocational training and organic farming, having a research wing with a diagnostic clinic, a pet zoo, and also building houses for the parents who would like to be in the vicinity of the school. So would like to know, let's say, specific questions are what we should be doing with small children.
The first thing is many hours of teaching. Worst thing you can do with small autistic kids that are 2, 3, and 4, and 5 years old is to do nothing. They need lots of hours of one-on-one teaching. You need to teach them words, teach them how to bathe, teach them how to dress themselves, teach them how to eat properly. Another really important thing to teach them to do is turn taking. These little kids have to learn how to wait and take their turns. And you can do that in very simple little children's games where there might be, 2 or 3 little kids have to wait and take turns, or wait and take turns with an adult.
Now, coming to the children from high school, what do you advise should be done with them?
Autism is a big spectrum. And when they get up to high school, they're going to range from somebody that ought to be working in a computer industry in programming to somebody who can't dress themselves. So you end up having this very big range. Fully verbal kids, they need to learn how to work. We need to start teaching work skills around 11 to 12 years old. Simple things they can do for other people, some volunteer work. Got to learn how to work, how to be on time, how to do a job. And we need to have a gradual transition from the world of school to the world of work. Sudden change is really bad. No surprises. But on the other hand, always give a kid choices. They should have a choice of some of the jobs that they can try.
Thanks for your advice. Now, coming to the curriculum, obviously we are looking at different programs. We have a school which is being run on ABA principles, and we intend to integrate different occupational therapies along with ABA and other methodologies which probably we are still about to sort of discover.
The important thing is having teachers that get progress with a child. I'll ask parents all the time, was your child progressing? So what do I mean by progress? More speech, more skills like dressing and bathing, learning how to read. Those would be examples of progress. I think it's a really good idea to not get too single-minded on just one particular type of therapy. A good teacher, I find, is so flexible and just knows how to kind of bring it out of these kids. Also, some of these kids, on the ones that are fully verbal, some will be a visual thinker. They'll be artists. They'll be very good at things involving art. Then another kind of kid is a mathematical mind. They'll be the computer programmer, the chemist, maybe these kind of fields. And another person on the autism spectrum, they love history, they love facts. They'd be very good at a job where they had to sell specialized products because they'd have a lot of knowledge of the product. Take the thing the child's good at and build on it. My ability in art was always encouraged when I was a young child. And I was encouraged to do lots of different kinds of art. If you've got a little young child that can do mathematics, give them harder mathematics. Don't bore them with the baby stuff. Give them harder stuff.
So now coming to the question of designing, what would you advise how should it be done in a foreign setting?
The most important thing in a school is the teachers and the management. One of the big problems I've seen with some of these schools is they're getting too big and they can't be managed. Management is extremely important. And they got to have somebody like you in charge of it, making sure things are done right.
Thank you. That will be kept in mind. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, we are holding a international conference on autism, calling it Great Minds Come Together on Autism, on 10th to 12th of January 2019. And we are having a number of speakers there, some of them from US you may be familiar with. For instance, Robert Bernstein, Tali Burman, Jalen Prince from Washington, and Joanne Lara, and number of others, of course, besides some other international speakers on this. We very much wanted to have you over, but I think your product, your itinerary probably is set a year in advance, so would definitely like to sort of welcome you if we could get your confirmation for our next conference in 2020.
I'll have to see what my schedule is.
Thank you very much. We can work around your timings and the month you are free.
I want to talk about one other issue in autism is sensory issues. Some kids have sound sensitivity, some have light sensitivity, touch sensitivity, and it's important to work on trying to desensitize these. And loud noises are often much better tolerated if the child can initiate the sound. And a good example is a vacuum cleaner, a hair dryer. If the child can turn it on and control it. Sometimes a kid will wear headphones, block out the sound. It's very important not to wear them all the time. But you can have them with him and put them on when he needs them. But give them control of the stimulus, and sometimes that can help desensitize it.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Okay,
Grandin.
thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Temple Grandin. I am a professor at Colorado State University. And when I was a child, I had severe autism, no speech. Fortunately, I had excellent speech therapy. My ability in art was always encouraged. That's really helped me in designing equipment. I was also taught how to take turns. It's really important to teach these little kids how to take turns, always give them opportunities to use their language. That is a super important thing to do. Work on building up their area of strength. If the child's good at art, then encourage art. Encourage lots of different kinds of art. If he's good at math, give him harder math. There are some people on the high end of the autism spectrum that are brilliant mathematicians. I'm pleased to introduce the first international conference on autism in Eastern India, hosted by the India Autism Center. This conference is bringing together speakers from all around the world. Robert Bernstein has a cognitive approach. I really like his practical ways to solving severe behavior problems. And then Tali Burman will talk about integrative therapies, Jaylene Price on residential planning, and Stephen Shore, who's a good friend of mine. And he's a good example of somebody that used his abilities. When he was in college, he started a bicycle shop in his dorm room, and it helped pay his way through college. Very clever mechanically. Some kids with autism are very good at fixing cars and these sorts of things. And then you'll have people with more severe autism. But we still have to look at what they can do rather than what they can't do. And the first thing you need to be doing is teaching them basic skills. Take them out, doing things, going to shopping centers, going out to many different places. India has an estimated 18 million individuals with autism, and only a small number of them get services. And this is a real worry for parents. Now, the worst thing you can do with a young child who's not talking is to let them just sit in a room and play with a phone and just stim out. Get them out doing things. Teach them how to talk. Teach them how to take turns. Teach them how to buy things when you go shopping. There's a great need for educators that are willing to work with these kids. The India Center for Autism will provide education. So also it will train them in things like organic farming, vocational training, and I hope that this first conference will really help a lot of people out there with autism, because we want to help them to be everything they can be.